Hey, I'm John Cannell, and today on Preppy Kitchen we're making some chewy, delicious chocolate chip oatmeal cookies. So let's get started. Into a medium bowl, I'm adding 1 cup or 120 grams of all-purpose flour. I'm using a scale for this because these cookies should have the perfect chewy, melt-in-your-mouth texture. Adding too much flour is not the right thing to do. And when you use a scale, you're not gonna add too much flour. If you're scooping it up with a measuring spoon, fluff the flour up, sprinkle it in, and then level it off. You don't wanna press it down. To puff things up, I'm adding half a teaspoon of baking soda. Pop it in, and we're gonna give this a whisk. Whisk that up so the baking soda is nice and combined. And now we can set that aside. Into the bowl of my stand mixer fitted with a paddle attachment or a big bowl if you're using a hand mixer, I'm adding 1/3 cup of granulated sugar, that's 65 grams, and 2/3 cup packed light brown sugar, that's 140 grams. By the way, if you like my videos, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. There's 2 new recipes every single week. To my sugars, I'm adding half a cup or 113 grams of room temperature or softened unsalted butter. Room temperature means that I can press with a little bit of effort and make a nice indent, and the butter will bend. If it's too soft, you won't be able to pump the air in. If it is too hard, it won't mix up well. So the temperature is really important. I'm gonna beat this on medium speed until it's light and fluffy, and if I need to, I'll scrape the bowl down. Rolled oats are one of my all-time favorite ingredients in baking. Gives you so much like delicious, chewy, toothy substance. I love the texture of it. They could be crisp, they could be chewy, it could be super paper thin or really nice and cakey, but you can use these in muffins and cookies and it makes delicious things happen. While this mixes up, it's time to add in half a teaspoon of salt. This is gonna give you a nice bit of contrast so you taste something and it's not a flat, sweet note. 2 teaspoons of vanilla will give you a lovely depth of flavor. It smells so good already. It's looking nice and fluffy. I am gonna scrape the bowl down. By the way, you can make this batter in advance and keep it in the freezer for up to 2 months, or keep the dough chilled in the fridge, ready to go for up to a week. Time to add 1 room temperature egg. Large, please. I'm gonna beat this until it's well mixed. It'll be about a minute. This looks perfect. I want to show you the texture. It hasn't broken. It looks like it's frosting almost. And I know it's now time to add in the dry ingredients. I'm going to add my flour mixture in, and it's going to mix until it's almost combined, meaning I still want to see streaks of flour throughout. You know, I've made this before on my channel, and it's just one of these recipes that I make on repeat, so I wanted to share it again. Someone commented on the last video that they subbed in all-purpose flour for oat flour to make it gluten-free, and it worked really nicely. So just FYI, this has happened in the community. Okay, mix on low, almost combined. I still want to see a lot of flour here. There we go. It is now time to add in 1.5 cups of old-fashioned rolled oats. That's 135 grams. These are the big guys that have all that nice toothy texture. The quick oats, not gonna be the same. And one of the stars of the recipe, chocolate chips, 1 cup semi-sweet chocolate chips. That's 150 grams. If you want some crunchy texture, so it's melt in your mouth, chewy, crunchy, I would add half to a full cup of chopped toasted nuts. Walnuts would be great in here, or pecans. All right, mix this until it is just combined or almost combined. I'm probably gonna finish it off with a spatula. And we're mixing on low. That's good. It's like 10 seconds. You know, I really love making things in the kitchen, especially a sweet treat, but I do not always have the time, especially when Lachlan or George are asking for a special cookie or just want like a little treat after school. My solution to this is just to have the dough ready in the freezer. So go into the freezer. I have labeled freezer bags with pre-scooped frozen dough for all sorts of different cookies. You can pop those onto a baking sheet and bake them straight from frozen. So I have instant gratification and warm, gooey cookies. I'm just using my spatula to move this around and make sure that the chips are really well distributed. The amazing part of using brown sugar is that you have the most beautiful caramel flavor throughout. The bad part is brown sugar will just spread more. These cookies have to be chilled or they will not bake up properly. I'm gonna cover this up and pop it into the fridge so I can chill it for at least an hour or up to overnight. Then, towards the end of my chill time, preheat your oven to 375 so everything's ready to go. Once your dough is chilled, we're gonna grab about a 2 tablespoon sized scooper and get to scooping. Boys, Papa's working. Kids are home from school, so if you hear anything on the mic, they're just having a good time. You can give these a little roll if you want. And we're gonna place those onto a parchment-lined baking sheet 2 inches apart. These will spread a bit, so you do want to have about 2 inches between each ball of dough. And if you noticed, I'm using a rimmed baking sheet. I really prefer those when I'm making cookies because it gives you a little bit of protection from the heat. And I just find the cookies have a less burnt edge. These could go right into the oven, or we can top them with a few more chocolate chips so they shine through, or even some flaked sea salt, or both. As I said, you could top with a few chocolate chips if desired. Your chocolate chip oatmeal cookies will last up to 2 weeks in an airtight container at room temperature or up to 2 months if frozen. Just make sure you thaw before eating. My first batch is ready to go into the oven 375 for 8 to 10 minutes or until the edges are golden. In you go. Once baked, remove your cookies from the oven, allow them to cool for 1 to 2 minutes, then transfer to a wire rack to cool completely. And just like that, your oatmeal chocolate chip cookies are ready to enjoy. George, would you like a cookie?
Sure.
Take a taste and let me know what you think. How's it taste? That face says it tastes delicious. Is that right? Okay. I hope you had a chance to enjoy this easy recipe, and if you like my videos, hit that subscribe button and check out my cookie playlist.